It's 6 o'clock.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria.
Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, rehabilitation work begins on Obirikwere flyover weeks after explosion. Motorists in Port Harcourt urge government to suspend enforcement of repainting of taxes due to harsh economy. More Rivers indigents expect massive development following local government autonomy. Federal government reiterates call for cancellation of planned nationwide protests under foreign scene. Israel's Netanyahu to address U.S. Congress as protesters plan Day of Rage. I am Kala Dakuru Batwo. Good evening.
Coronation.
Now the news. Rehabilitation workers started on the portion of the Obirikwere flyover affected by an explosion last month. The Rivers State Commissioner for Works, Tasia Madi, told our correspondent in a text message that the state government has mobilized workers to fix the flyover. As you may know, Nigeria Info had reported that residents who live around flyover expressed worry over the delay in starting maintenance work on the flyover after a tanker loaded with gas cylinders exploded on the 4th of June. Yesterday, some of the residents renewed their call for the bridge to be fixed. Some motorists in Port Harcourt metropolis are appealing to the state government to extend the deadline for repainting commercial vehicles operating in the state. They told our correspondent that the harsh economic situation and the rainy season would affect this change.
This painting of vehicle that they are talking about now is not easy to finance the painting of vehicle 80,000 and above. Right now, everything is very difficult. If government can help us extend it maybe after the rainy season.
I beg River State government, make una help us. We not get money to paint our motor. There is hardship everywhere. Make una leave this painting of motor issue for now.
Because of hardship, a lot of people cannot be able to afford the cost of painting their vehicle right now. So even if we embark on it, and this is a rainy season, it will also take time for the painters to do it. So we are appealing that they should put it on hold for now.
We are also appealing to the Ministry of Transport to run inclusive unionists in the selection of the enforcement team, or better still, the ministry should hand it over to non-unionists.
As you may know, the Rivers State Ministry of Transport had announced 1st August as the deadline for commercial drivers to change the color of their taxis, buses and tricycles to blue and white, which is the state's official color. It followed multiple complaints about the activities of one-chance criminals who disguised themselves as taxi drivers and passengers to rob unsuspecting passengers. Moving on. Some residents of River State say the inclusion of domestic staff in the 70,000 naira national minimum wage is unrealistic. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM Sunnyside, they said some of the employers of these domestic staff may not earn that much.
70,000 for a domestic staff. These people they should think because domestic staff will rise up and say, please, because of that one I proposed that we need to get jobs again. People will drop their domestic staff and their children will begin to do the work now.
They should also note this clearly that those who patronize these domestic staff are not even the big people up there, are the middle class and the civil servants. Most of them, they squeeze their salary to go and get domestic help because of the responsibilities at home. When you get minimum wage, not be for everybody. It is the lowest, the same minimum, which means the lowest worker in the civil service.
We are talking about increasing the minimum wage of domestic workers. How much is the matter? And just want to sound politically correct. I don't agree with that.
During their plenary on Tuesday, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced that the newly approved minimum wage applies to all workers across both public and private sectors, including maids and other domestic staff. The bill was speedily passed by both chambers of the National Assembly just after it was transmitted by President Bola Tinubu. Away from that, expectations are high across various communities in River State as many residents believe that the full financial autonomy of local government will foster development in their areas. Our correspondent spoke with indigents and residents in over 10 local government areas. Some residents of Opobo Nkoro Council highlighted the need for skill acquisition programs and the construction of portable pipe-borne water systems in communities such as Epelema, Minima, and Kalibiama.
The financial autonomy should be able to enable the chairman to carry out empowerment programs for the youth, payment of bursary for the students in higher institutions, and then introducing programs that will help cushion the effect of this economic hardship.
Opobo is the riverine area, and when you're doing road in such places, you need to do a solid road. We have Kalibia, we have Epelema, we have Queenstown, we have Minima. Even the Nkoro that is under Opobo too, they need development. Good water. You must not go and drink well water. Not that anytime I'm going to Opobo, I'll buy sleep well, I'll buy bottled water and go. People cannot afford buying those water.
For now, we have a road linking Opobo, which is better. We also need agricultural or seashore, the trawler kind of fishing ports. It will boost economical value and the people will have something to sustain them.
Residents of Gokana local government area are calling for the rehabilitation of community schools in Dio and the provision of electricity to the 17 communities.
We need regular electricity. When we have it, you see that artisans can start working, welders, businessmen, women can do something, and we need security. Because of joblessness, boys have resorted to, I think if security is in place, those things will be secure in my community and as well Gokana.
In your community, we don't have enough classroom for pupils to learn, both the senior and the junior secondary school. So we want them to help there.
Those days we need to get manual pump. Some communities, like here are communities, we have you need to have those manual pump. When you don't have water, you can easily go there and use your hands to operate and get water. But these days are nothing like that again. I will advise this local government chairman attend to those needs because those things used to help.
Recall that the Supreme Court granted full financial autonomy to the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. Previously, local government funds were deposited into a joint account managed by state and local governments, but with this autonomy, local governments will now receive their 20.6% share of the federal monthly revenue allocations directly into their accounts. In other news, a lawyer, Innocent Eku, says the River State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice can sue the Martin Ameule-led lawmakers for disturbing the peace in the state. Mr. Eku spoke in an interview with our correspondent in reaction to recent directives from the Ameule-led lawmakers instructing the governor to resubmit the 2024 budget and asking the public to avoid dealing with the newly inaugurated CTC chairman. He said their pronouncement violates the constitution.
They are constituting public nuisance and they are breaching the peace. They are breaching the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The law can catch up with them. The Attorney General can initiate appropriate charges against them and they can be prosecuted. It's just that the governor, being a man of peace, are choosing to be calm. And however, those Amehule-led groups, they are wallowing in an arrogance of their own. The law no longer recognizes them.
Let's take a commercial break. Still to come, federal government reiterates call for cancellation of planned nationwide protests. Do stay tuned.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the newscast. The planned nationwide protest against bad governance in Nigeria has continued to generate response from the federal government and other concerned groups. Speaking on why the federal government is opposed to the protest, Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris said they were aware some people plan to hijack it to cause trouble. Mr. Idris said this during the meeting in Abuja today. He said the President Bola Tinubu-led administration acknowledges the rights of every Nigerian to engage in protests, but is also committed to ensuring that these activities do not disrupt public order or violate the rights of others. Also, the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, said the faceless organizers have not made any valid reason for demanding a nationwide march against the situation caused by the global economic recession. He urged all well-meaning Nigerians to protect the country from those he said do not mean well for the nation. In the meantime, the outcome of a federal government emergency meeting this morning in response to the planned protest is still being awaited. Yesterday, President Bola Tinubu urged the organizers of the protest to cancel it. Earlier, the minority caucus of the House of Representatives advised the federal government to meet with those planning the nationwide protest to find a lasting solution to the issues they have raised. In a statement, the caucus chairman Kingsley Chinda also urged those behind the planned protest to cancel it due to the worrisome security situation in the country. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC says it didn't plan the nationwide hunger protest slated for 1st August. NLC President Joe Ajaero said this in a statement today while responding to reports that the union had withdrawn from the protest. He said the union cannot withdraw from a protest it did not organize. The NLC president, however, advised the federal and state governments to listen to the cries of the citizens and address the economic crisis. Let's take a look at the international scene.
And now, news from around the world.
Looking at the international scene, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will speak to a joint session of U.S. Congress in a bid to get support for his country's war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson invited Mr. Netanyahu amid pro-Palestinian demonstrators gathering outside the U.S. Capitol, and some have vowed a day of raid in opposition to the Prime Minister's visit, which is his first trip outside Israel since the conflict began 9 months ago.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this evening, you heard rehabilitation workers started on the Obirikwe flyover weeks after an explosion there. Motorists in Port Harcourt are urging the government to suspend enforcement of repainting of taxes due to harsh economy. Federal government reiterates call for cancellation of planned nationwide protests. On the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is to address U.S. Congress as protesters plan a day of rage. The news was edited by Constance Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Khaled Akorubatibo. Good evening once again.